what a momentous week it is for cinema releases. The so-called Barbenheimer doubleheader, in which the titles of two very different films are whimsically conflated. And before I stick the fork of criticism into the oozingly moist pudding of cinema, I want to emphasise that I do expect people to subscribe to this channel and leave a comment. Are Barbie dolls demeaning or empowering? Director Greta Gerwig and her co-writer Noah Baumbach opt for the latter theory in Barbie, this beamingly affectionate and deliriously pink-themed fantasy comedy adventure produced by Barbie's corporate manufacturer Mattel and starring Margot Robbie, whose own superhuman blonde beauty makes her the only possible casting as Barbie herself. It is maybe down to Gerwig's confidence and generosity as a feminist filmmaker that she gives all the best lines to Ryan Gosling, who is allowed to steal the whole film, playing Barbie's non-genital boyfriend, Ken.
What do I have to do? You have to go to the real world. You can go back to your regular life, or you can know the truth about the universe. The choice is now yours.
The first one, the high heel.
You have to want to know, okay? Do it again.
Closer I am to find. Closer I am to find.
I'm coming with you.
Okay.
Yet this film has to keep second-guessing and preempting the anti-Barbie impulse with a stream of knowing references and self-aware meta gags, which acknowledge that, sure, yes, Barbie's uber-blonde slim persona is arguably conformist and oppressive, but we all know that, we're past all that. These charges are redeemed by Barbie's own ethereal innocence, and there is now in any case a range of Barbies, diverse in terms of ethnicity and body image, among whom Robbie is first among equals as stereotypical Barbie, including a wheelchair-using Barbie, glimpsed once in this film's opening party scene and then never seen again. But even this is hedged with a quirky admission that the real world, which imposed these changes, is still itself imperfect and tokenist. The result is a good-natured but self-conscious movie, whose comedy is rooted in that very self-consciousness. Often funny, occasionally very funny, but sometimes also demure and inhibited, as if the urge to be funny can only be mean and satirical. And so often Barbie herself winds up playing the bland comic foil to comic characters, like the outrageous metrosexual Ken, obsessed with his beach habitat and longing for the patriarchy, and to the weird Barbie, the Barbie who's been abusively overplayed with and crayoned over, always dishevelled on the floor doing the splits, played here by Kate McKinnon. Barbie herself is living her best life in her perfect Barbie world, partying of an evening with the other Barbies who are political leaders, Supreme Court judges and Nobel laureates, including Dua Lipa and Issa Rae, and a castrato chorus of Beach Bunny Ken clones, including John Cena and Simu Liu, and Ken's gloomy beta male mate Alan, played by Michael Cera, when suddenly she is assailed with a terrible thought of dying. Weird Barbie tells her she must journey to the real world outside to sort this out, and so she and Ken arrive in scuzzy Santa Monica in time-honoured fish-out-of-water style to discover that this existential anxiety has been psychocosmically transmitted to Barbie from Gloria, a former Barbie owner, now a hard-working single mum working as an assistant in the Mattel empire. A nice performance from America Ferrera. Gloria has a whip-smart, discontented teen daughter, Sasha, played by Ariana Greenblatt, and those squeamish about spoilers or disloyalty might want to hit pause before the revelation that Sasha starts out fiercely and boldly critical of Barbie before being tamely converted. It is with this conversion that the politics of it all is definitively banished. Ken is thrilled by male dominance in this real world and tries replicating it back in Barbie land, to Barbie's very considerable dismay. Will Ferrell plays the Mattel CEO and chair of the all-male board, and Rhea Perlman has a cameo as Ruth Handler, the creator of Barbie, who reportedly named the doll after her daughter Barbara. The movie does not acknowledge the alternative theory that Barbie was named after Barbara Ryan, wife of Mattel's chief designer Jack Ryan, whose life story gives us an actual Barbenheimer connection. Before designing Barbie for Mattel, he designed missiles for the Pentagon as an employee of the aerospace giant Raytheon, an important player in the post-war military-industrial complex. This movie is perhaps a giant 2-hour commercial for a certain product, although no more so than the Lego movie, yet Barbie doesn't go for the comedy jugular anywhere near as gleefully as that. In interviews about Barbie, Greta Gerwig has referenced Milton and Powell and Pressburger. Judging from this, I would say that the influences are rather Toy Story, Pinocchio and Clueless. It's entertaining and amiable, but with a soft-core pulling of punches, lightly ironised celebratory nostalgia for a toy that still exists right now. That's it, but before I leave, I should take a moment to record that this is a sad week for me personally, as my great friend and colleague and the man who preceded me as Guardian film critic Derek Malcolm died this week at the age of 91, a brilliant cinephile of enormous wit and wisdom and an international legend of the film festival circuit. Here's a brief clip of Derek talking about what it's like to be a film producer.
You know, when I was a young critic, I always used to think of producers as the villains of the piece. I thought of them as people who had plenty of money and who told the director exactly what to do, ruined his work, probably put the film out wrong, and in fact took all the money and paid the director a very small fee. There's always the thought that there's some gorgon behind a film, and it's usually the executive producer. Then I suddenly began to see a lot of British films and a lot of European films as well as American films, and my view became a little bit different. And towards the end of my career as a critic, I thought exactly the opposite. I thought the producer was probably the unsung hero of the British film industry. Think of what they have to do. First thing they have to do is find some money for a film. That takes about 3 or 4 years sometimes. They then have to, having found the money, perhaps shoot very quickly, too quickly than they would like to, get everything together. They've got to provide everything on the set. They've got to do everything for themselves to make it run smoothly. And there's a lot of people on a film set who are not exactly easy to deal with, including most directors. So having done that, raised the money, then done all that backbreaking practical work, they then have to try and sell the film and get it put out in a way they'd like it to be put out. And that's very difficult too. So I think the producers probably have the worst job in the film industry, the hardest job.
So there we are. You can look up Derek's web-archived articles for The Guardian in the link below. Please give this vlog a like and a share on your socials, and please subscribe and leave a comment to that effect. And also please buy my book, The Films That Made Me, an edited selection of my essays and reviews for The Guardian. See you next time.